Star Wars right now. Let's switch it up a bit. I don't want to stay in the negatives.
Star Wars.
So Star Wars, guys. Here's the thing. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fanatic, fan, nerd, right? But I did watch, growing up, I did watch the original trilogy, you know, episode 8, the third one was like, I think the most, Star Wars is weird, because like, episode 8 would have came before 3 and they did it in parts. I think there was something where the technology wasn't where he wanted it to be to produce certain chapters, so he did it later as opposed to before or whatever. But I really like the one when it introduced Anakin turning into Darth Vader. I think that was a chapter 3 in around 2003, 2004. And then you have the older ones, right, which are still kind of keep up. You can see the differences of how, you know, camera work and everything and CG works from before and now, but it kept up. But they had meaning to it, and you can say this about a lot of movies now. There's not really much meaning. There's not much depth to these movies. It's just a popcorn flick. You look at it, looks interesting, you get some laughs out of it, you leave. You might probably not want to watch the movie again, which is, I know it's with a lot of movies nowadays. They don't have playback ability as much as they used to. It's just kind of like, okay, I saw the movie, I talked to my friends about it. It dies down, we'll digest the other movie. There's more of a corporate aspect to it where it's just push it out, make money, make other movie, push it out.
A lot of people like them, 75% like this film.
I'm a little biased on those scores. There's a lot of review buying nowadays. There's a lot of fake stuff. You had Rotten Tomato literally changing their algorithm and how you could review stuff just because how crap, what was it? The Captain Marvel movie, and I don't want to get into that because if you know comic books and you know all that, the depths they went through to change something that ultimately no one really liked, shocking. But whatever. I don't want to beat that dead horse any further than it has been. But with Star Wars, at least, we take, as I mentioned, all the older stuff. Gold, legendary. It's what made these movies have even the ability to have as many people watch it as they are, because what they did was they pedaled off the or piggybacked, better to say, off the older movie, the nostalgia, the old fans, and said, hey, we're bringing back Star Wars, guys. Everybody go crazy, you know? And then you have the OGs watching it, and it's like, what is this? They cater the movie to a newer audience of Star Wars on the piggybacking of the nostalgia and the older viewers.
But that's what they're doing with every hit comic or hit movie like Batman,
Facts!
Spider-Man,
Facts!
Star Wars.
Spider-Man's a good one too, exactly. Spider-Man, but I kind of like Spider-Man. I don't know, Disney didn't mess that one up as much. Now I don't like the change of the whole Uncle Ben not really being there, Tony Stark becoming the new Uncle Ben kind of thing. I personally don't like that. But it's still an enjoyable movie. This Star Wars, I've only watched in terms of Disney owning it, the first one, I'll be honest, so I won't go too in depth. But from watching that first one, I enjoyed it in terms of watching a movie. But when you look at context, when you look at story, when you look at it being able to become a trilogy where this one links up with this one and then you get the finalized one in the third movie, it's not gonna have that. It doesn't have that because it's too much pandering, too much catering going on in the movie, too much unexplained things. Like you have Rey, who, like if you know the original Star Wars, you have to be a Jedi Master, and then you take on a Padawan, which is a protege. They learn under the Jedi Master to someday work into becoming a Jedi. Takes a long time for them to work into how to use the Force, how to utilize the Force, how to understand. And you have this movie, she just comes in, and you guys know it's called a Mary Sue. She has all the powers. She's just the best. She learns everything instantly. It's just rushed. There's no interest now. Okay, it's just a popcorn flick. So I think they're ruining the Star Wars name, brand. If the newer people like it, I can't argue with the business aspect of it, but you could find a balance in between the two, I believe, and I don't believe they did that.
Let us know
exactly
which ones you like out of the ones Roy mentioned. Which one was your favorite as a child growing up? For me, it was Batman. I really didn't get into Star Wars as much. But I would love the Batman comics, man. They were so good. I would come home and I just watch Batman. For Halloween, I wanted to be Batman. You know what I mean? Like, on and on and on.
Batman's a real one still. Batman, Marvel's been doing good. They haven't gone too far on the pandering train. DC's been saying excellently well on not doing the pandering. Like, I know you guys already seen the example. You take Wonder Woman. Because ultimately I feel as if they're trying to kind of steer towards this whole women empowerment thing, which is good. Which is good, I'm all for it. But when you stuff it down someone's throat, they're not going to receive it properly. Pause. Yeah, they're not going to receive it positively, I think. You need to make it more organic. It just needs to flow through, and you take Wonder Woman. I watched that movie, I rewatched that movie, I love watching that movie. And if you know the backstory of Wonder Woman, there's nothing more feminist or like woman empowerment than Wonder Woman. They live on an island with all women and men are not allowed to be there. But they still were able to have that movie watched by both, like everybody, and no problems. I watch it. I don't feel as if I'm being forced to like to opt into this ideology. Once again, taking in the backstory of Wonder Woman, and then you have Star Wars, which is all over the place. It's everybody. There's many Star Wars, women in Star Wars that play big roles, right? You have, what was Anakin's wife, man? I can't remember, but the princess, whatever. She had one of the fundamental big decisions in that whole Confederate situation. Like, I can't remember too much, but like a lot of big like roles for women. But now I feel like they're just like, hey, look, women, take this. Hey, look, women that. Like, it's not gonna look good at the end of the day. It's not going to sell people on it. It's pandering. No one likes being pandered to. It has this cringe feeling to it, at least for me.
Speaking of women, skirts are getting shorter and shorter every
This guy just went south. He's like, but how about them skirts?